You wake up early, take a deep breath, stretch your body, and expect to feel what once came naturally, a morning erection, firm and full of presence. But instead, you notice something has changed. The penis doesn't respond the way it used to. What should be hard and pulsating feels unstable, fragile, almost absent. This scene, which many men prefer to hide even from themselves, is more common than it seems. At first it happens once in a while, a single failure, but slowly it repeats itself until the absence of rigidity becomes routine. What was once a sign of vitality turns into a distant memory. What is at stake here is not just a physical detail, it's confidence, self-esteem, the feeling of being alive and capable. Each failure leaves invisible marks, the eyes that avoid contact, the sense of not measuring up, the fear of trying again and failing once more. And this silent spiral undermines not only sexual power but also everyday energy. It's important to understand this doesn't happen because desire is gone or because it's all in your head. What fails here is mechanical, physiological. An erection is a circulation phenomenon. It's blood rushing into the corpora cavernosa of the penis and being held there under pressure. If the flow doesn't arrive or escapes too soon, firmness cannot be sustained. And this is where the turning point lies. There are natural ways to reactivate that flow within minutes, without pills or risky interventions. When the body receives the right command, the vessels relax, pressure increases, and the penis visibly swells with blood. It doesn't take hours, it doesn't require complicated preparation. The body responds immediately because it was designed to do so. The problem is that many men are unaware of this process. They think losing an erection is a one-way street. It's not. The system that controls potency isn't broken. It's blocked, weakened, dormant. And when you learn how to activate the right muscles and vessels, rigidity returns naturally. This video will show you exactly that. How to restore firmness and power without relying on medication. A simple, direct step that gives you back the security of having a strong erection when you need it most. Before we move on, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll receive content that helps men regain control of their intimate lives with clarity, practice, and real results. And I want you to take part right now. If your main struggle today is still weak erections, write the word "stuck" in the comments. But if you've already noticed your body starting to react and firmness returning, write "coming back." I want to know what stage you're at and how I can help in future videos. When erections begin to fail, most men think of two quick explanations. Either it's psychological or it's lack of desire. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. The truth is that behind every erection there's a highly organized physical process, almost like an internal engineering system. And when a single piece of that mechanism fails, the result is immediate. Firmness disappears. The penis works like a hydraulic chamber. To become erect, the brain sends a signal that relaxes the vessels in the area. In that instant, blood starts to surge into the corpora cavernosa, two spongy tissues that, when filled, expand in volume and sustain rigidity. But that flow must be intense, and more importantly, it must be maintained. That's where small valves and internal muscles act as natural barriers, preventing blood from escaping too soon. When everything works as it should, the result is simple. The penis swells quickly, internal pressure rises, and the erection holds until the body decides otherwise. But when vessels stiffen, when circulation is compromised, or when the pelvic muscles lose strength, this system starts to fail. Blood may still arrive, but in insufficient quantity, or it enters but doesn't stay. And the result is that frustrating sensation of instability, an erection that begins but vanishes in seconds. This explains why so many men mistakenly believe they just need more desire or external stimulation. The problem isn't in the mind, it's in the mechanics, it's in the pressure, An erection is not just arousal, it's circulation. And if the physical base doesn't work, no blue pill or fantasy will truly solve it. The key is understanding that this failure is not the end of the road. It doesn't mean the body has lost its ability. It means the motor needs to be reactivated. The muscles, vessels, and valves that sustain potency are still there, just waiting for the right command to work in sync again. And throughout this video, you'll learn exactly how to trigger this natural command without drugs or tricks, because when the body receives the proper stimulus again, the response is immediate. Blood floods the corpora cavernosa, pressure is maintained, and rigidity returns. It's anatomy put into practice. If this content is already giving you clarity about what's really behind erectile dysfunction, take a moment to like this video. That not only helps the channel grow, but it also shows you value direct, straightforward information to restore your potency naturally. Many men believe erectile dysfunction is caused only by major issues, high cholesterol, diabetes, advanced age. But the truth is that even before that, there's a much subtler, almost invisible enemy that slowly undermines potency. It's not a diagnosed disease, it's not a pain that warns you, it's a daily mistake, silent and unnoticed. This mistake lives in everyday habits. It begins, for example, in the way you sit, hours in front of the computer or television with the pelvis poorly positioned, compress the vessels and nerves that should be free to carry blood. It's like stepping on a hose and expecting water to come out with pressure. While posture locks up, the flow that should nourish the corpora cavernosa is restricted. Another factor is unconscious tension. Many men have the habit of constantly contracting the abdomen or glutes, as if the body always needed to be on guard. This constant contraction compresses the pelvic region, restricting blood flow exactly where it should be free. The effect doesn't appear right away, but over time, the body accumulates that blockage until when it needs to respond, it simply can't. Then there's the sedentary lifestyle, which reinforces the problem. The human body was made to move, and the penis depends on that movement for proper stimulation. Without activity, without stretching, without circulation being activated, the pelvic base muscles weaken, and when those muscles lose strength, they can no longer sustain the internal pressure needed to hold blood inside the penis. The problem with this invisible mistake is that it produces no immediate alarm. There's no pain, no fever. It doesn't stop your daily life. A man only notices when it's already too late. Erections start to fail. At first they take longer to appear, then they fade too soon, until, in many cases, they disappear completely. And it's precisely because there are no clear symptoms that this mistake persists. The body keeps sending warnings in silence, but the signal only shows up in the most uncomfortable moment. What's most concerning is that many interpret this failure as lack of desire or inevitable aging, when in fact the real issue is simple: circulation blocked by bad habits. It's a physical obstruction, built up day after day, suffocating potency without you even realizing it. There's also something that almost no one talks about. Male potency doesn't depend only on hormones, desire, or even overall circulation. There's a discrete, hidden structure that works as the internal engine of an erection. And when it weakens, sustaining firmness becomes impossible. That engine is the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is a group of deep muscles located at the base of the pelvis. They don't show up in the mirror. They don't add external size, but they are responsible for supporting internal organs and, above all, for sustaining the penis during erection. Picture an elastic belt that holds everything in place, ensuring that once blood enters the corpora cavernosa, it stays there under pressure. That's exactly what these muscles do. When they are active and strong, they work as a natural lock against blood escape. The penis doesn't just fill quickly, it also stays hard for much longer. Firmness is sustained by the body's own structure. But when these muscles weaken, something common with age, lack of movement, and bad habits, the effect is the opposite. The flow enters but leaks out. The result is an unstable erection, one that doesn't last until the end. Most men have never consciously trained these muscles. Some don't even know they exist, and this creates a dangerous illusion. They believe the problem lies only in the mind or in hormones, when in reality it's rooted in a set of forgotten muscle fibers that could be reactivated in just a few days. These muscles are automatically triggered in simple moments, when you hold back urine, when your body braces during a cough, or even when you control your breathing during pleasure. They are already programmed to act as natural reflectors of potency. What's missing is awareness and deliberate stimulation. The interesting thing is that, unlike other muscles that take weeks to show results, the pelvic floor responds quickly. Because it's built for reflexive, short contractions, it strengthens within days once trained properly. The impact on erections is immediate: more volume at rest, greater initial rigidity, and a much stronger ability to keep blood trapped during intimacy. Ignoring this motor is like trying to drive a car with a full tank but no fuel pump. Desire may be present, circulation may even be available, but without the strength to maintain pressure, performance simply collapses. That's why so many men feel their erections switching off before the right time, because the very base that should hold everything together is weak, inactive. Reactivating this motor is like bringing life back to the entire system. This is where physiology shows its intelligence. Potency doesn't depend on anything external, but on reconditioning something the body already has, ready to be used. Knowing that the pelvic floor is the engine of erections is already a big step, but it's useless to know the engine if you don't know how to turn the key. This is where the right command comes in, a simple internal stimulus capable of activating, within minutes, the blood flow that seemed blocked. This command doesn't require medication, fancy equipment, or exposure. It lies within your own body. It's the same reflex you've already experienced without realizing it, the act of stopping your urine stream mid-flow. That movement activates the so-called pubococcygeus muscle, or PC muscle, which is central to the pelvic floor. When you contract this muscle consciously and with control, something powerful happens. It gently compresses the vessels in the region, increasing pressure inside the corpora cavernosa of the penis. This makes blood flow in with greater intensity and, more importantly, remain trapped. It's like closing a gate. The entry stays open, but the exit is blocked. The result is immediate. The penis swells, rigidity increases, and the erection is sustained much longer. The exercise is simple, but it must be done with precision. Many men make the mistake of contracting only the abdomen or glutes, when the true target is internal and more subtle. It's the deep contraction you feel exactly at the point where you hold back urine. Done correctly, you notice a slight pressure at the base of the penis and even a different feeling of fullness, as if blood were being called into the area. The fascinating part is that this command works like a switch. In the first days, the body reacts discreetly, more volume at rest, greater awareness of the region. But as the muscle gains strength, the response becomes visible. Spontaneous erections begin to return in the morning. The penis reacts faster to arousal. Rigidity, once impossible to sustain, comes back almost as a natural reflex. From a physiological standpoint, this proves the body never lost its ability to generate firmness. It was simply lacking the command. The circuitry was intact, but the switch was off. And once you relearn how to press that internal button, the entire system turns back on. This is the secret behind countless stories of men who regained potency in just a few weeks, without relying on pills. The right muscle, activated the right way, transforms circulation and reorganizes pressure. It's not a trick, it's not magic, it's simply physiology applied at the exact point where it matters. At first, the practice of the command may seem too subtle. You contract the muscle, feel only slight pressure, almost imperceptible, and you doubt, is this really going to work? But the body has its own logic. What begins as a subtle stimulus transforms, over time, into a powerful response. In the first days, the changes are almost invisible. A bit more volume at rest, a different sense of presence in the pelvic region. But that is the signal that something deeper is already happening. The muscles begin to strengthen, vascularization improves, and the communication between brain, vessels, and penis grows stronger. It's as if old wires that had rusted start conducting energy again. With consistent practice, the effect becomes undeniable. Erections that had nearly disappeared return in the mornings. The body reacts faster to even the smallest stimulus. Firmness, once unstable, now holds steady with confidence. Blood no longer escapes easily because there is finally enough strength to maintain pressure inside the corpora cavernosa, and the impact is not only physical, the transformation reaches the mind as well. The man who feels his penis respond firmly again experiences his confidence reborn. The fear of failure fades. The anxiety that once held the body hostage gives way to the security of knowing it still works. This cycle of confidence creates a cascading effect. The more security, the more relaxation. The more relaxation, the better the circulation. The better the circulation, the greater the potency. There is also a quieter but equally striking change. The body begins to reorganize itself at rest. Pulsation in the penile region becomes more noticeable. The sense of vitality increases. Many men report that even their posture improves because strengthening the pelvic floor stabilizes the whole body. It's not just the erection that changes, it's the way you feel in your own body. This transformation reveals something essential. Erectile dysfunction is not a final sentence, but a reversible condition. The penis does not forget how to fill with blood. The muscles do not forget how to hold pressure. The brain does not forget how to send the command. They simply need to be awakened again. And once reactivated, they work with the same efficiency as before, proving that potency doesn't depend only on age, but on how you care for the base that sustains it. In the end, what once seemed like an unsolvable problem becomes an opportunity to reconnect with your own body. A man discovers that he can still command his potency, that he is not a prisoner of pills or luck. The transformation lies in a simple habit that reawakens the internal engine. And once that happens, an erection stops being an effort and returns to what it was always meant to be, a natural response. When a man realizes his erection no longer responds as it once did, the first reaction is usually fear of not performing, of disappointing, of never feeling firmness again. That fear weighs heavily, silences him, and often pushes him toward quick fixes like pills that promise instant results. But those shortcuts never address the cause. They mask the problem and trap men in a dependency that robs them of confidence. What this video has shown you so far is that there is another path, a path that doesn't rely on outside substances, but on the body's own capacity. When you awaken the right muscles, when you strengthen the hidden engine and learn to trigger the internal command, something extraordinary happens. The flow returns, the penis swells with blood, rigidity comes back, and with it, the confidence of being in charge of your own potency. This change is not just physical, it overflows into every part of life. A man who feels strong erections again walks differently. His eyes show more certainty, his breathing becomes freer, his posture straighter, Intimacy stops being defined by fear of failure and returns to being a space of pleasure, presence, and genuine connection. It is a quiet but profound transformation that restores to body and mind what seemed lost. And it's important to remember, this is not luck, not the privilege of a few. It is a choice. Potency lies in how you decide to care for your body today. Every conscious contraction, every adjusted habit, every small step is a move toward vitality. The future of your intimate life is not already written. It can be built. If you've made it this far, it's because you are ready for that change. So I invite you to take the next step, subscribe to the channel now. That way you'll receive more practical content, grounded in science and experience, to help you restore firmness without relying on medication. Also, don't forget to like this video, because that ensures it reaches other men still struggling in silence. And don't stop here. Explore the other videos on this channel with natural strategies to boost circulation, improve vitality, and regain control of your intimate life. That's all for now. Take care of your intimate health, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.